Hey guys, what's going on? I haven't posted anything on this page in a while. I'm surprised it still exists. YouTube clearly doesn't get rid of the inactive YouTubers, which is good. Um, I don't have anything particularly in mind that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I didn't even plan on doing a video today. Um, I was on social media earlier, mm, Instagram to be specific, and I was just scrolling through pictures and videos and everybody else's stories. I started watching a live video of an old friend of mine, you know, and long story short, it was watching that video and having a conversation with this friend of mine that motivated me to stand here in front of you guys once again and present something that only I, in the way that only I can. um, Even though I didn't really have anything particular in mind, what I mean by that is I didn't plan on doing a video today. I didn't already have something prepared for this video. I didn't even prepare anything before hitting the button and starting video. Um, but one thing that has come to mind from the time that I had that conversation with my dear old friend up until now is something that we are all dealing with, which is gun violence. Which, as you could see, those of you that follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I wore this particular bandana a couple weeks ago. It's the only orange thing I have left in my wardrobe. I used to have an orange shirt, but the beginning of June is Wear Orange Awareness Week or weekend, and basically the first weekend of June is to help spread awareness for gun violence and help try to put an end to gun violence. This is more so a personal thing to me, aside from any other charity that I've done, because I do breast cancer walks, and I'm also an advocate for HIV/AIDS and lupus and heart disease, pediatric cancer, many other things. But gun violence is one thing over the past several years that has really hit home for me. Uh, I had a dear friend in high school. That particular weekend, it was this weekend that they're doing the whole gun violence thing. Lost him. A few months prior to that, I lost another childhood friend of mine. And fast forward a year ahead from when that happened, back in 2014, I wound up losing yet a third childhood friend of mine to, you guessed it, gun violence. Fast forward to now, today, June 19th. Yes, it's still June 19th. Well, I don't know what time it'll be. I'm guessing it'll still be today if you see this video right away, or tomorrow, the 20th, or whenever you see this video. But whenever you do eventually see this video, oh no, it's still the 18th. But anyway, doesn't matter. Point being, today, at the time that this video is recorded, another tragic thing happened. A lot of you have probably seen it on the news and on social media. I don't remember the person's name. I'm going to try to pronounce it, and I'll probably botch it. So I'll just say there was a very famous up-and-coming music artist that was tragically gunned down in southern Florida earlier today. And it was over, I don't know exactly what it was over, but I keep seeing different stories and different headlines about there being some type of feud with either that person or another person that might know what's going on with, the poor individual that was taken from us way too soon earlier today. Um, I wish I did know more about this so I didn't sound like I'm babbling like an idiot, but I can't help but think about the first, well, not really the first, the second close friend of mine that I lost to gun violence. The very last conversation we had was him ending it off with anything can happen at any time. I could walk out that door right now and something could happen. I can get hit by a car, or somebody could stab me, shoot me, and anything, God forbid, could happen, and you won't see or hear from me anymore. I told him, listen, that's not a conversation I want to have, and that's not something I want to think, because I just finished losing a very good friend of mine not too long ago, and lo and behold, the last words I got to hear my dear friend say was the end of that conversation, the whole, hey, life happens. A lot of you that interact with me on a day-to-day basis, whether you're watching now or not, anybody that knows me and interacts with me on a day-to-day basis knows that I always say life happens. It's not something that I've always lived by, because I've always been one to think, okay, bad things happen, things do happen, but there's always a bright side, right? It's always possible to look at the positive side of things. It's often easier said than done, especially in situations like this where people don't use words anymore to prove a point. People don't use bare fists. People use weapons, and more particularly guns. Something has to give. Something's got to give. I'm mentioning all of this now, and I'm putting so much emphasis on gun violence and the fact that it has hit home for me so much over the past several years, and then today with what I'm seeing on the news. Believe it or not, it ties in with the friend of mine that I spoke to earlier, because we had a similar conversation, about how life is, and you just don't know who to trust anymore. People that you consider friends or family, people that you've been really close to for so long, and then for whatever reason something happens and that trust is betrayed, or that love is just gone, or you spend a certain amount of time away from a person, or you don't talk to a person, you don't see a person for so long, or people, what have you. Things just change. Sometimes it's not even your fault, it's not the person's fault, or the third party's fault. Life just happens. But the thing we need to realize is that life happens every single day. Life is getting shorter and shorter. The one thing we can't get back is time. It took me talking to somebody that, I was cool with at one point, but I didn't think we were still cool after all these years. It took me talking to that one random person on their live stream. They're probably just minding their business, press the button to go live, and wasn't even expecting to have like a whole Dr. Phil session. But I genuinely appreciated having that moment, because within that moment I reflected on all the other times that I wasn't able to share that moment with friends of mine, family of mine that are no longer here, whether it was because they moved on for natural causes, or more infamously, gun violence. And right after I had that conversation with him, about a couple hours later, that's when I found out about this poor artist. So basically, the whole point of me rambling on about talking to an old friend of mine, which if you're watching and you made it through the 9th minute of this video, then thank you for motivating me to make this video. I obviously didn't mention your name, because even though you told me to make the video and you said you encouraged me, I don't have permission to shout you out. So I'm having respect for your privacy. But anyway, before I ramble on too long, the whole point of me mentioning all of this, again, life is too short, and I'm sorry for rambling, and I'm sorry for not being able to speak without pausing or trying to collect myself. Anybody that knows me knows I'm really emotional, so I'm fighting back a lot of that emotion right now so that I can put together a simple video without breaking. You need to take advantage of whatever time you have with whomever you have, because you never know what's going to happen. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the name of gun violence. It's just that you just never know. Gun violence, unfortunately, is a harsh piece of evidence that you just never know what's going to happen. You could be walking down the block and you don't even have to have an issue with somebody. Somebody could be having an issue with someone else and you can just get caught in the crossfires. Nobody wants to think about a worst case scenario. Nobody wants to think about what could go wrong. That's our reality. And you just never know. You never know who's meant to be a part of your life, who's not, and who just might wind up surprising you one day. People that you wouldn't expect to be close with will suddenly gravitate towards you. Some people you thought you've been close with for so long will suddenly just be nothing more than a distant memory. That's just how life works. I have people that are probably watching this now that can relate, and maybe even some people that are currently in this particular situation with me now, where we haven't talked in a while, or we just haven't had the same bond or connection that we once had because, again, life happened. Nothing personal with us. We don't have any animosity towards each other. At least I hope we don't. If there's anybody watching this now that feels that I've said or done something wrong in the past and that's why we've lost so much time, I'm sorry. I can't change it. I wish I could. But there's no reason why we can't pick up and move forward and then try to either build something new or something. But life is too short to just let it pass. Let time keep passing, and then before you know it, it's all gone. So I'm pretty sure this whole video is just a whole bunch of nonsense and it made absolutely no sense with any of what I said, but I'm still going to upload it because if it weren't for a good friend of mine, I wouldn't have been motivated to do so and I wouldn't have put this topic out there. So I'm just going to end with this. If you have somebody, anybody, a friend, a sibling, guardian of sorts, that you really hold close, I want you to take some time right now. If you're sitting next to that person, or if you have to call the person, or if the person's in the next room, go to that person. Tell them you love them. If that makes you feel awkward, just give them a hug, or a kiss, or a hug and a kiss, or anything. It doesn't have to be all lovey-dovey, but just something to show that you still care and that person means something to you, or those people mean something to you. And even if that may be, as crazy as it sounds, I know I'm going to sound a little crazy, bear with me, even if it may be potentially the last opportunity you get to share that with that person, or you never know when you'll be able to share another sentiment like that again, at least you took advantage of that opportunity to let that person or those people know, hey, I'm still here for you, I love you, this is what you mean to me, and we're going to go through things, and neither of us are perfect, but that's okay, because we still have each other. And on that note, I want to take what I just said and do the same right now. Anybody that's watching this, be it a friend of mine, somebody that I consider family, maybe my own brother's watching this, I have no idea, but in some capacity, I still care about you guys. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you. And I'm always going to be here. I know I'm going to still learn from my mistakes, make new ones. Not that I'm looking forward to making new mistakes, but that's how we grow. That's how we mature. And, we have to raise this new bunch of kids and this new generation to be better than what we were raised to see. So that's basically it. I love you guys. I hope you take the time to do what I would like for all of us to do. And let's not just do it on a day where we acknowledge, somebody like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. Yes, that does exist. It's in September. Check your calendars. Let's keep this going every day. Every single day. We're going to have our moments. It's fine. But there's no reason why we can't keep the love going. Thank you for watching, and let's just keep this going. Talk to you another time.